Hasta la vista, baby.
Sunday night fight.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Sunday Night Fights. We are here in season number 3. This is episode number 7. This is title fight number 3 between SiberianPlatoon and the challenger DevM. Sunday Night Fights would like to give a warm welcome back to the show, Razor!
Evening, Ami. Evening, COH fans. We've got a cracking match this evening. Two of the best players in the game right now. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yes, let's see if anybody can shake a stick at our champion. He is undefeated in Season 3. He knocked out Aimstrong in the contender bout. He knocked out Seb in the title fight number 1. And he put down Korean Army, perhaps without breaking a sweat, in title fight number 2. And here we are now, where he will face DevM, who could just be his toughest challenge yet. DevM has been on fire lately. He's coming off a hot streak. He also beat Seb in a best-of-5 vanilla finals in the holiday tournament on December 28th, right before New Year's. And he has been rocking the ladders. I've even seen him playing so-called off factions, playing OF and laddering up pretty high on those factions as well. So it's the young challenger, perhaps the David against SiberianPlatoon, the Goliath, and I'm psyched for this one. Razor, what inspired you to come back to COH? We were missing you for a while there. The forums just aren't the same without you.
I don't know if everyone feels the same way, preferring me to be back on the forums, but COH is still the best game out. It's still the best RTS you can play. There's been a lot of good balance changes that have happened recently, and it's nice to see these. They're not newer players, but they've definitely improved a lot. And there's people like Seb, there's people like Siberian, there's people like DevM, all these fantastic players playing at what is the highest level I've ever seen in COH.
I think Seb is the player that ushered in the new school. In fact, there was like a torch that passed from you to him in that classic Hall of Fame replay with 500 plus wubs. I saw that as sort of a transition, and then we've had a lot of great new players. And man, don't get me started on this how to become an expert thread. I read that thread and it's just horrible, like disrespect, egos, blah blah blah. But right here on SNF, I think you are seeing guys that are top quality, and I don't think anybody can criticize the strength of a champion like SiberianPlatoon. You were watching some of his games just before the show. What did you notice about his playstyle?
Siberian's one of those players who's been around for quite a long time, and he's improved a hell of a lot, and he brings a different mentality to a lot of the games as well. There's always been certain, amongst the top players, you play every map roughly the same way, you know where the strengths and weaknesses of the map are, your factions. Siberian's coming up with a different angle, sort of his own angle, which I'm sure we'll see in some of these games, where he does things that I would in the past have described as shocking strategy. It was wrong, there was no way it was going to work against a high tier player. But then he comes at it and he makes it work, and I think it's really interesting to see the way that he approaches maps differently, and he approaches the matchups differently as well. And obviously I'm going to go out and say he is the best OF player out there at the moment.
Yeah, he's incredibly diverse. He plays all four factions equally well, I think. Let's have Bud take us to the fight card, please. Ring-a-ling-ding-ding, check that out. Here we go. Siberian, you've seen this image so many times now, it's probably ingrained in your memory. I want to get a new shot of him in the fighting pose. Maybe if he wins this one, we can get him to send in a new picture. And there you see our challenger, DevM, who is just coming off a hot streak of his own. The poll on this fight is close. The who do you think's going to win, vote with your head, is about 63% to SiberianPlatoon and sort of 37 to DevM. But the who do you want to win, vote with your heart, is right down the middle. It was 50-50 until just in the last half hour where DevM surged ahead, and now he's leading by 2 votes. So a lot of people love this kid from Portugal, want to see him do well here. And, you know, like the champion, you gotta love to see the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So it'd be nice to see if someone could put a chink in Siberian's armor.
Pioneer team ready.
Yeah, the young Portuguese challenger. I think he's young enough to beat your son, probably, Ami, against the Russian mafia boss, SiberianPlatoon. So it should be interesting. I think Siberian's had a much harder time getting here, and that's probably made him maybe war weary, but maybe a more experienced veteran, whereas DevM's had an easier time getting here, so maybe he hasn't been as challenged as he might have been.
Yeah, he plowed through Lollipop last week in a very convincing 3-0 victory in his contender bout. So, all right, I am psyched for this. Led Zeppelin's got me pumped. It's good to be back with a title fight. This is our 3rd one. This is sponsored by Relic Entertainment. They put up $100 to the winner here. And, of course, GameReplays.org sponsors all of our contender bouts. And so we are now on the home stretch. This is episode 7 out of 11. We are on our way home. After this, there are only 2 more contender bouts, the first of which the players will announce at the end of this show, and the second of which you, yourself, that's right, I'm talking to you out there, great COH player, you could earn yourself a spot in the next contender bout by having a great performance in tournament number 23, the sign-ups for which just opened up yesterday. Go to the GameReplays.org tourney forums and put your name on the list. You might get a chance to face SiberianPlatoon. He's signed up. DevM signed up. Seb is signed up. Old greats like Morello are signed up. Razor, my friend right here, is signed up. I'm signed up. You can beat on Ami and then, you know, have a laugh at all your friends. I signed up because personally I want to play against Siberian and I want to get my ass stomped by the champ. So that's what I'm looking for when the seeds come out. Razor, are you excited for this tournament? Bud, take us on in game. You gonna show us something, Razor? Tournament 23?
I'll probably show my age more than anything else. I imagine I'll probably get stomped fairly early on, and it'll be highly embarrassing. But it should be an excellent tournament, and hopefully I can put a bit of practice in, and maybe at least get to the semis or something. We'll have to wait and see.
At least get to the semis, you said. All right, well, that's no small task in this current environment. Okay, folks, I'm paused at 5 seconds. We are on the precipice of getting Game 1 underway of this 3rd title fight here. I'm going to be following SiberianPlatoon playing the Wehrmacht in the Northeast. Razor will be following DevM playing the Americans. And once again, to stay true to form, we have a vanilla matchup for Game 1 on Semwa. Bud, Razor, we're all paused at 5 seconds. I'm going to unpause right now. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I expect nothing but manners from these guys. They're both very sort of humble victors, good sportsmen. I've never seen any BM from either of these 2 guys, and that's really nice. I like that.
Yeah, definitely. They're both well-mannered, well-intentioned. They like to chat to people in the community as well, which you like to see from the top-tier players. They're definitely of a different mold than our friend Contador.
Oh, now you didn't have to go there, but now you've gone there. Can't take it back. Let's try to give an unbiased cast. You know that DevM is a clanmate of Tomitoma. So DevM representing Insane, and Siberian Platoon representing Soldiers of Liberty. And once again, he's going straight after that medium ammo that's just south of his base, and he's one of the few players that does that consistently. And I like that he hasn't changed up anything. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He also loves, as we've seen in previous SNF Game 1s, or when Siberian was playing Wehrmacht, he loves to go to wrap around the north. And you can see, even now, he's sending his folks north of that little lake, and he's going to go contest that medium fuel and go cut off the high ammo that DevM is now trying to connect.
Yeah, we see DevM's going with a slightly modified opening with 3 engineers, and he immediately took his fuel before even starting on his barracks. The second engineer started building the barracks. Small engagement up top, but the house will stop that. And he's then built his barracks with his actually third engineer finished building the barracks, and the second one went out to cap. So he's trying to get lots of capping power out on the field fast and take advantage of that early US advantage, get as much map control as possible.
A very classic opening Siberian. He's coming out with a MG next. His folks put down some wire. He's setting up to entrench in that north. And, you know, DevM surely knew this was coming. If you watched any of the previous SNFs, this is how Siberian likes to play this map. Now, he's got a good engagement here, DevM. His rifles are supported by some engineers. And, you know, 2 squads is going to beat 1. So he wants this fight. And Siberian knows that he doesn't want it and backpedals away. And that's one thing you see with the pro players. The high level is they know when to backpedal softly away from a fight, and that's a hard thing to do in COH. You kind of just want to naturally put your guys in cover and let them fight, but sometimes that's not the right idea.
No, you're absolutely right there. The sort of soft retreat, you back off. They're just taking pots at each other as they move. Obviously less accuracy as well, so not as many people take damage. But DevM did the right thing there because he knew that the second unit was coming out quite soon. He suspected, at least probably knew it was going to be an MG, it being Siberian, who normally goes the Volks MG. So he didn't want to get baited in by those Volks soft retreating into an MG.
The MG is interestingly placed right on the sort of bank of the river. Now he's, the lake, he's coming up, and the rifles garrison this church. Meanwhile, the pilots are chased off in the north by DevM. They actually sent rifles all the way west. And now this MG doesn't really want to be firing at the church. You never want your MG fire sucked into a building because you're just not doing damage, you're not suppressing any squad, and you open yourself up to flanks. And I wonder if the NGs, no, the NGs aren't going to try a flank. That MG is very well covered by the Volk squad. So these rifles are just sort of delaying a presence in the center.
Yeah, this is a move to sort of, just a static move to hold the game in place so that he doesn't get pushed up onto his cutoff point on the bridge. He wants to hold Siberian in place, even though he's losing men and HP. It is worthwhile so that he can cap the rest of the map in the meantime. And it also means that Siberian isn't in his normal position up in the north that, like you said, he likes to wrap around from. I think that could be damaging
Really
Siberian's game because he does like to play from that north.
I've never seen an early game with him not holding that medium fuel and that, the low fuel and the medium ammo out there. So, Siberian's kind of going stronger for the center in this game. He's got a second MG out now, but it's all out by himself, and if he gets caught, the engineers see him, the MG sees the engineers. There's an interesting drama unfolding in the north where that MG is unsupported, but he's looking really strong in the center, so he is playing this quite a bit differently. It's almost like the opening was kind of a bluff to play it like he usually does when he had other plans from the start.
Yeah, we've got extremely fast bars here from DevM, but sort of just before the 5-minute mark he's got bars already. I think, he's only got 3 rifle squads on the field and he's already gone for bars, so he isn't going to have the same map presence, but if he can get things outside of houses, he's going to cause incredible amounts of damage, and he's setting up for a huge flank on the middle here.
Yes,
Siberian could be in a lot of trouble if he goes off this flank.
Beautiful back-facing MG, though, from Siberian. He saw it coming because his second MG was coming out and saw those rifles almost try to cap the cutoff point. And here the NGs take the mine. They don't die, though, and they pave the way for this rifle to come in right behind the MG. There's a flamer in the graveyard and 2 squads of Volks there, and I think DevM is getting the sense that this, oh my goodness, he's got all sorts of units coming in. The MG is backpedaling deep into the graveyard. These flamers are right in the center. Flamer v. Flamer. The Volks are getting really low strength here. These bars are doing a lot of damage, but it's the flamers from Siberian, and now the second MG opening up that I think are going to win the day. Let's see. Siberian doesn't want to lose a squad here. His Volks are down to 2 men. They're very low health. DevM's trying to stick around to clear this one MG, but it is a lost cause, and his rifles are sent packing, and as I expected, Siberian holds. And it's interesting that DevM never focused the flamers, because they're the real damage dealers there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The turning point of that fight was when DevM had to retreat his flamers and Siberian stayed in. Flamers in the early game, they are going to be a main damage dealers, especially in fights where you're moving around so much to try and outposition an MG. Taking flame damage the whole time, any critical hits instantly killing men. That was a big hold for Siberian.
Now, do you think this sniper seeing
he
early
needed
bars
to hold that, otherwise he would have
just
been
like
completely forced off the map.
his sniper's saying, "Let me at him," right? I mean, it's when you go early bars like that, the sniper's got more time to work and less things to worry about. I mean, yeah, you don't want to get caught out because bars will kill you quick if you have to retreat next to them, but without WSC or motor pool, there's no hard counter.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing you see is that there's 2 MGs and a bunker going up. So 2 MGs and a sniper and a bunker to try and break with just barred rifles, he's going to struggle a lot. On a map like Semois, it's almost impossible to break a double MG position without a weapon support center. I think DevM's going to be struggling to get through this defensive position that Siberian's setting up, and Siberian's trying to get the pin. DevM's aware of that, and he's moving out onto the map.
So he's already gone defensive so he can reinforce here at this bunker, and he's upgrading it to a medic bunker, and this is a style that we have not yet seen from SiberianPlatoon. This is a completely different way that he's playing Semois. All of my, like, ain't broke, don't fix it talk at the beginning, Siberian has surprised us and proven me entirely wrong. And this is really interesting that he's showing us something totally different. And now here comes a huge flank. Here come 2 flamer squads from the rear, a bar squad. We got, once again, the rear-facing MG. This wire is going to go into play, even if it just slows down these flamers.
That sniper's in danger right there.
Yeah, sniper's taking heat. The flamer could crit him right away. Bar fire as well. Oh, the sniper is almost dead. The wire's finally cut, and here come the 2 more sets of flamers. Bars are right up on top of the sniper. He's down. Here come the flamers in. Oh man, DevM's giving me chills. The flamers quickly annihilate the rear MG, and they are just frying dudes as they're reinforcing at the bunker. No, the second MG goes down. Holy smokes, it's crazy up ends. Free Grens pop out, violence, medics.
The champions on the rope,
outgunned. These Grens are outgunned by 2 barred up squads. One of them is going to try to steal the MG, and I hope he doesn't lose that single bit rifle squad as they retreat by the church. You want to keep that so important. He tries to capture both MGs. It's larceny. DevM getting away with murder. He's got his fingers in the cookie jar.
I gotta be honest, I didn't even see those flamers coming from the south. I don't think Siberian was expecting them either. Those 2 flamers coming up from the south, cutting the wire, coming in behind that, and the sniper going down.
That was
huge play from DevM.
Alright, we've got a Sturm Armory cranking out a Puma. It's about 80% finished, and I bet Siberian cannot wait for that thing to hit the field. His 1 zombie grenadier squad is now suppressed by 2 stolen MGs. They're sent to packing. The flamers are back. I wonder what they'll do here. It would take them a long time to flame that bunker down, but look, he's researched demo charge. He's going to try to blow it.
That's a classic textbook move from Seb's textbook. He says if you see a defensive defensive bunker, get damage charges, always. And he takes it out, no problem. The medic bunker's gone down, the sniper's gone down, 2 MGs have been stolen. I don't even know what you have left on the field, Ami, honestly. There's so much for the US.
2 Volk squad, the Zombie Gren squad, and now a Puma and a couple, just 1 Pio squad. Quick time check, 11 minutes, 6, 7, 8, 9. As the Puma hits the center and tries to work on these rifles, they're just going to hang out and cover and stick around.
That's the best thing right now for DevM to do, because he's got so many stuff on the field, he can afford to lose a bit of manpower, he's miles ahead already. If that Puma isn't inflicting too much damage, he's going to have time to get up some kind of counter, and he's building a motor pool already, it's halfway done. I think Siberian is in a lot of trouble here. This Puma's not going to do enough damage to bring him back into parity.
Volks have decided that it is a lost cause to try to help out in the center, and they're going to try to reclaim the right-hand side of the map, where there is an MG waiting for them. Uh-oh, surprise! They do have green cover. Let's see how they do against this 2-man MG squad. I'm more interested in that fight than the Puma fight right now. Puma sends 1 set of rifles away, and look at that, DevM wisely retreats. He would have lost that, but narrowly survives. And those Volks will be able to recap the bottom half of the map.
That is one of the weaknesses
going on in the center.
Yeah, one of the weaknesses of recrewing an MG is that obviously riflemen are nowhere near as they don't have the same kind of survivability as HMG men from the Wehrmacht.
Alright, well, I expect to
M8's
see an
coming out
AT
onto the
gun
field
first,
now.
actually. But yeah, it's an M8 instead. So we're going to see a kind of funny M8. The skirts just popped, so we're going to see an M8 v Puma thing. And Siberian has back-teched, and he's building a pack now, so that's a really great call. He had started the pack even before he saw the M8. And the Puma
It's a good
shies away
decision
the
from
fight.
Siberian. I mean, he doesn't have much choice at the moment. He has to get both Tier 2 and Tier 3 up to be able to compete, but he's sunk a lot of money into tech and structures, and after that big engagement where he lost the sniper and the medic bunker, he can't have that much on the field, honestly. He's going to have to hope for some mistakes from DevM, because at the moment DevM has 4 barred rifle squads, 2 MGs, M8, 3 flamer squads. He's just all over this.
Look at this M8 backing his butt right into the face of this Puma. But here comes the pack, and there's a mine there, so DevM would be wise not to take the bait. Let's see if this pack can get a shot in, and even better yet, a cloak shot in. My fog of war's not on, but here comes the first pack shot, a complete, just useless squib into some rocks that were nowhere near the target. So that was a bit
looks
of
more
a
like an
fail
M10
there.
shot than a pack shot there. Missing completely.
Yes. Who trained these guys? Rookies of the Wehrmacht, the 16-year-olds, coming on out. And look at this. DevM's gonna maybe. Oh, he's hopping behind this truck. He's got this MG here. Uh-oh. These piles, these sweepers. They're like, what MG? I'm getting pinned by my own MG. This ain't right. So 2 Pumas now for Siberian, supported by the pack. And luckily for Siberian, there's no armor piercing on that MG. It's one of his own. So he doesn't have that to worry about. And these Pumas will be able to clear those squads eventually. That's just light arms farm.
Yeah, he's going to hold him for a long
Are
time,
you building
though.
an AT gun yet?
No, we're actually gone for supply yard upgrade and sticky bombs, rather than getting an AT gun out, which is interesting, and it means that these Pumas are going to have a bigger impact than they probably should have done. I think DevM should have got an AT gun out and tried to just secure the middle here.
Yeah, I agree. There's the first sticky in, and actually immobilizes that Puma, and the Pios are back in the base. There's actually 2 squads now. They're on their way out. Let's see if they can save that Puma that's immobilized. Both Pumas are on very low health right now. Oh boy, these Pumas are getting in trouble. Here we go. He's going to try to start repairing them. They're very low. They do annihilate very quickly with some crazy successive crits. They killed that rifle squad that was going to try to come in and lay the final sticky in there. So that was a break for Siberian and maybe what he needed to get back in there.
Yeah, that was a bit of luck there because the pack wasn't in position. I think DevM thought the pack was behind them and didn't want to send up his M8, but the guy as he was winding up to toss the sticky bomb got flacked in the face by that Puma.
Yeah, those two Pumas were just like pop, 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 and 5 green XPs lit up within a matter of seconds. I like how Siberian is still harassing, but you can see in the north, DevM's got the MG in that very strong house. I mean, you steal 2 MGs from Wehrmacht. That's borderline GG, right? I mean, those MGs have had a huge influence on this game.
It's very, very devastating to lose squads, and if you lose the squad and then the US captures the MG, especially when his sniper has gone down, so he doesn't really have a counter. On Semois with these houses, Pumas will take forever to kill an MG, so he doesn't really have a counter at this point. He might even need to get another sniper or possibly something like a Nebelwerfer to try and deal with them, because defensive positions against infantry pushes are going to be too strong for Wehrmacht.
Well, the Rangers were obviously trained by the same guys that trained that pack, because their first 2 Zooks went into the ground a few meters short of that Puma. There are now 3 Pumas out. This should be interesting. The Zooks are just missing. There's Pios there to repair them. And yeah, the Rangers know that against 3 Pumas that it's not worth the manpower drain. Those Rangers are expensive to reinforce, and so DevM just backs out. And still no AT gun, not even cooking, really?
Yeah, there's one in production now, but they do have a very long production time. And I think DevM should have been getting one out earlier because we see these 3 Pumas. 1 M8 can't be too aggressive against 3 Pumas.
He has not decided to upgun
He
any
can
of
repair
them
them
yet.
pretty fast, and he's got the pack somewhere, and DevM doesn't know where
Yeah,
the
that
pack is, so
right there.
he needs
He
to be
might get a
careful with
shot
his
on the
M8.
M8 right now.
I think he doesn't want to upgun them.
Here comes a pack shot. Oh my! They get a Faust in, and a pack shot goes in. M8 in deep trouble. Whoa! The kill shot just takes down some stone wall, and that slippery M8 is gonna escape. Barely.
Losing ground out there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. He doesn't know where the pack is. He's got to be careful with his M8. 1 M8 on
Another
the
quick
field,
time
but
sink.
he's being very aggressive.
Another quick time sink when there's a little bit quiet on the front, and suddenly we're developing into a kind of 50-50 map situation. I'm at 1843, 44, 45, 46, and Siberian is lowering the center VP. And look at that, he lit up the mine and then shot it with a Puma. Nice. He's going to go sweep that one, and look at, he's lit up that other, so that's 3 cleared mine. Oh, the Puma clues the other one so quick. 3 mines quickly cleared in the center. Siberian is trying to claw his way back in.
It's one of the things I love about Siberian's play is you always see minesweepers. At high level play, especially on a map with such obvious routes of travel as Semois, you have to have a minesweeper, and it's paid for itself easily.
And here we see the first Neville fire raining in. Luckily for DevM, his infantry has already moved past that position. Well, they don't want to go back into it. They can still burn and lose health. They don't want to walk over there. There's a lot of micro going on. They're doing a real stutter step as this first AT gun finally hits the field at almost 20 minutes. Could have used that quite heavily for a long time. So that's finally there. So now we've got Pumas supporting a pack. We've got an M8 supporting an AT gun. We've got Shrek'd up Grens on the field, zombie Grens. We've still got these 2. My Siberian's army is getting huge. He's got 2 packs now, 3 sets of Pios. He's building once again a very large Wehrmacht army.
Well, we see that DevM, he's been quite aggressive, and it hasn't really paid off. After that huge early game advantage he had, he probably should have solidified. Semois quite a good map for just solidifying a lead and camping on it. Then it develops into the Nebels, and then you get into indirect fire wars, but we see he's actually opted to go for a tank depot here. So I'm expecting to see He doesn't have the fuel to support a Sherman at this point, so he's only got 66 fuel, so I'm expecting to see an M10, which will struggle against 2 packs in this defensive perimeter that the Siberians set up.
Yeah, it will definitely struggle. Hell of a lot of gunfire going on in the center between all these infantrymen, but this Nebel, I mean, how does DevM plan to counter the Nebel? Because the Nebel is just going to back these infantry out of the center. It's the perfect unit right now that has no counterpart, and it's a really interesting decision that DevM went Tank Depot instead of what he could have gone, which was, of course, on map howitzer.
Yeah, I think the on-map howitzer probably would have been a lot more preferable, because he's seen that DevM is backed into this defensive cordon around this
Siberian,
bottom
you mean?
DP area and his bridge. Sorry, yeah, Siberian. So he should have got. I think he should have got the howitzer. Would have negated the Nebel. Would have negated the strong pack position. We've got artillery on-map off-map artillery selected, so I expect to see some kind of big rush with his newly produced Hellcat and an artillery strike to try and hit one of the packs. But I don't know if he knows that there's a second one yet.
Oh no, this M8 is taking horrible shots from the pack, and it's going to have to really pull a trick. There is a off-map Howie shoot. The pack is trying to move out of the way. One guy dies. The Pumas get out of the way easily. The pack has to move forward, but there are Rangers there to greet them. So that will probably be lights out for that one pack. Indeed, wow, those Ranger bazookas, they finally found their target. They annihilate that pack. A second Nebel is out, and we could get some really nasty Nebel shots. Here comes the Hellcat, and looks like DevM is ready to push. Here he comes with fired up Rangers and Flamers and an AT gun and his Hellcat. Whoops, second pack, but guess what? The Rangers are all up on top of it. Rangers leading the way. They're getting sliced up by Pumas, and they have to retreat. They even dropped a Zook. Let's see if these Flamers, they're tasked with clearing that pack. The Hellcat is down. Wow, that pack just took tons of damage, and he killed that Hellcat. The Flamers have to go, and I think we're going to see soon some zooked up Volksgrenadiers. And this M8, wow, he's in deep. He's trying to kite the pack. The Pumas are there, going to push him and block him. The pack turns. The pack's going to get in shots. He's down to about 40% health. The Zook is captured. The Zook might be the end of the pack. Oh, whoa, the pack's down. The M8 is almost dead. Whoa, he still survived. I think the Puma took him out finally. And the AT gun, MG, and rifles from DevM are surging forward. It's all about reinforcements. What an incredible fight in the center of Semwa.
This is a
Puma
huge
is
engagement right
down.
here.
Artillery support is now available.
I'd say,
Wow, we're
despite losing the Puma and the pack, I think that Siberians still came out ahead there. DevM obviously wasn't expecting the second pack. He thought he dealt with the only one on the field and thought he could rush in. But again, his over-aggression into a defensive position, Wehrmacht,
Oh,
is
and this
hurting him.
57 is overly aggressive. This 57 is instantly flanked by maybe a new Puma, and also Nebel fire raining down on that MG, and DevM got a bit greedy there. He gave away that 57. You know, he did a lot of damage when he killed that Puma about 30 seconds ago. He probably should have just retreated both of those units. That was crazy to move them forward. But now here comes the Hellcat. This fight ain't over yet.
Siberian's got
look at
another
this
pack though.
third pack in the rear, perfectly set up, lays two huge shots in on the Hellcat, and he has to back out of there on about 5%.
I think DevM's going to really struggle because he doesn't have that indirect fire that could support his army that Siberian does with the Nebel. He could really do with a howitzer, but he's going to struggle to produce a howitzer given the amount of infantry that he's losing.
So this Puma's been working on killing the vehicle of that 57.
Especially Rangers with their huge reinforced cost. He's really suffering on manpower, whereas Siberian's been keeping almost everything alive. This is the stage of the game at which you start to look at VPs and you start to think, okay, how much longer is the game likely to go on? Especially as Siberian's only been holding the one VP, but you see it's still 225 for the Axis, so this game is going to continue for a while yet, and with Nebelwerfers and Pumas killing infantry and with the packs making it impossible for aggressive plays, I think Siberian is looking pretty strong at the moment.
I love how both of these guys have dedicated repair squads of 3 sets of workers each, just trying to keep their vehicles in tip-top shape. There is a huge shot. That must have been, wow, an off-map just wipes out the pack, kills some Pio. A lot of green XP popping up there. That was really a great shot. Now there is just that one pack left that's dedicated anti-tank. Oh man, there's just too much going on, man. The caster needs some intermission. How can these players keep up their stamina? This is really going to be an endurance test, this best of 5 here. I hope they don't shoot their loads in game 1.
Our forces are taking casualties.
Oh no! Oh, there's a ranger squad in the house on the bottom there. I was about to say the house is on about 5 HP, and the pack just eliminated a whole ranger squad for nothing.
That's a huge loss. You hate that. Every time that happens to you, you're kicking yourself. Hey, guess what, noobs? You're not the only ones that lose full squads in a house. If it can happen to DevM, it can happen to anybody. It's a little bit of reassurance there for all you guys starting out playing the game or suffering from lapses of micro or paying attention. Yeah, that is deadly. Got to check the white bar in the house. These destructible buildings can be a killer. This reminds me of a game where you lost that full paratrooper squad in the church. You remember that one, Razor?
I thought you might bring that up. Do I see support vet and vehicle vet here for Siberian?
Well, the Puma's got 2 stripes already, and the Pios, they don't have any yet.
So we've got 2 levels of vehicle vet. That's interesting.
He just got infantry level 1, so now the Grenadiers and the Volks have a stripe. Here comes some charging Rangers, but this has never worked out well for DevM, charging the Rangers into the Pumas. Let's see if he can save that Hellcat. There comes the Faust. God, how many times have I seen vehicles just slip away on absolutely no help? These guys are amazing at saving their vehicles here. So that's nice. So the Puma vet and the pack vet, and he's now got a double vet pack as well. This Hellcat's feeling bold. He wants to skin him some Pumas.
Yeah, DevM needs to take out these Pumas.
Look at him duck behind the house.
It's love the use of the terrain. They're both using the hedges and the buildings and just blocking line of sight to anything that can kill them.
It's hide and seek here, dodge and weave. It's like they're playing Battlefield. Forward shot, reverse hide, forward shot. This Hellcat has found an angle on the rear end of this Puma. The Pat can't quite get him because he's blocked by that house that's being torn to shreds. Back to the repair guys go back to work, and we've been on this sort of static map situation now for about 15 minutes. And this is just too close to call still.
Yeah, it's a matter of DevM's trying to charge forward with large amounts of infantry, and you can't do that into this many Pumas. He needs to... I don't know, I think he really needed some kind of indirect fire. He needed a howitzer, which is actually coming up right now. So I think that's late, but at least he's going to have it. Because now he can apply pressure. Yeah, it's coming up now. It's being built by 3 engineer squads. So hopefully that'll put pressure on Siberian, and he won't be able to sit back anymore. Because he's just been sitting back in this defense position with beautiful pack micro, I have to say, and repelling every single attack.
Well, Siberian is now down to 168 VPs. So it's time, it's about time that he starts getting some vet, and he needs to start turning the tide. How many times have we seen the flow go like this? Now we see a single vet Stug. He somehow, whoa! The first on-map shot takes out 2 full Pio squad. That's gonna make it difficult to keep his vehicles in tip-top shape. I'd say that was a decent strike. Now this Hellcat's gonna try to take on these 2 Pumas and this Stug. And that is bad news for the Hellcat. Let's see what can finish him off. Why are the units not chasing him? Maybe he's going to try to do it with the Volks. The Volks want the VP, and it's in due time that they do cap that VP. He's got a cloaked tank there. I think the Pumas managed to sneak up and take the forward Hellcat. And here we have some Rangers flanking from behind. Off they go. Another off-map shoot coming in that the Pumas easily evade, but it will give some trouble to these Volks that are trying to raise the center VP. Here come 3 sets of flamers. That is an infantry nightmare, and the Volks run away aptly. We still have this rear Hellcat that's plugging shots in on this Puma. It's getting down to about 40%, and this Stug is trying to hang out, and they're really fighting for the VP. Now look at these flamers are capping under fire. DevM wants to keep that VP pressure on. He knows he's going to need to end this game before the Wehrmacht Panzer machine really starts to vet up and become unstoppable.
Enemy unit down.
Big Nebel shot prevents the VP from going up. Look at that. He barely prevented those engineers from capping that center VP. So now the indirect fire is really flying. Another house goes down in the center of Semwa. We're having fun now, folks. The center VP is white. These guys are starting to pound each other from afar. And it is going to be tough to raise that VP. Here's some brave rifles that are going to give it a shot. Let's see how they do. I love how the fighting in the center has been so intense that you don't see a lot of action on the wings. They just can't even, they don't have time to harass the wings anymore. They have to give their full concentration to this fight in the center. The Stug's about to go down. The Hellcat's about to go down. Which one's going to fall first? The Sticky might tip the balance. Indeed, the Sticky kills the Stug. And that Hellcat, let's see. Pumas versus Hellcat. Will he sacrifice his munitions for a Faust to finish it off? Let's see if he decides to do it. There it is, and that will do it. Hellcat down, Stug down. The heavy armor has been cleared off the center of Semwa, and it looks like Siberian will be able to capture that center VP for himself.
Yeah, I think DevM knew right there that if he lost the middle, that it was going to be very, very difficult to come back into it. Because these Pumas, if you look at the kills on the Pumas, they all, apart from one, two of them have racked up 16 kills. So 32 kills between 2 Pumas right there, and that I think is where DevM is struggling, is the amount of infantry kills that these Pumas are getting. He hasn't been able to kill them.
Well, those double vet Pumas, man, they were even worse in the last patch, but even in this patch, they are still hard to kill. And Rangers are not enough. It's just been this delicate balance between Hellcats and then the Stug and the pack. Here we see another Stug out. Siberian always seems to have just barely enough to repel DevM's heavy armor. Now these Rangers have to be careful. They don't want to suffer the same fate as their brethren. This church is on about, I'd say, 20% health. DevM better keep an eye on it. It was embarrassing to lose one full squad. Here comes some registered on that center VP. We knew we'd see this eventually. I think Siberian's been hoarding ammo for this purpose solely. I love it. My COH Semwa is shaking as the artillery rains in. And now look, the Puma's starting to go harass in the north. We got some capping going on. I think Siberian's starting to feel comfortable, but he could still get VP rushed. He's only got 145. I've seen a lot of games where Axis thinks they're going into a comfortable position, but they managed to get VIP'd out. And look at DevM's going into VIP harass mode. He's trying to harass the south as well. Nebel firing these double event rifles also barely failed to raise the center VP.
I was sure it was going to hit the church and the Rangers were going to go down.
DevM just had the unpleasant
it.
discovery of finding this MG bunker that's guarding the southern VP. Siberian built that ages and ages ago, and DevM just found it just now. His Rangers do finally raise the center VP, but they are quickly followed up by some Volks to black it back out again. And look at that Nebel fire burning the 57 as it tries to retreat, and now the Stug is just going to sit there and say, I don't want anybody to man this thing, I'm just going to sit on it.
Yeah, DevM needs to do something. Oh, off-map combat group, let's see what we've got. Oh, 2 Hellcats, Rifle Squad, MG Squad, pretty nice, pretty nice.
I'd say that's a jackpot. 2 Hellcats. You can't ask for anything more than that. Let's do a quick time sync before these Hellcats get into it. I'm at 35 minutes and 53, 54, 55. No time to talk. Here they come. They want to kill themselves some Pumas, but they got a Stug to worry about. 2-on-1 though. They should be able to handle that Stug. Its health is falling fast. Stug's friend arrives to reinforce. It's going to be a 2-on-2, man. This feels like vanilla COH. Besides the invisible tanks, this early Hellcat versus Stug is feeling like the days of yore with Shermans versus Stug. I am loving this game. Another registered on the center VP, and that might be the end of those double vet rifles. Oh, they try to retreat, but they're not getting away. Double vet rifles annihilated in the center.
It's not looking good for the US here at all. There's a lot of Axis armor out, supported by 2 Nebelwerfers, and he just insists on running infantry into their death over and over again.
Man, I could just see Siberian saying, oh, this is where I'm just, come at me, bro. Siberian's like, come on, you want to brawl? Let's brawl. Here we go. I just have the feeling that these players know that they are facing the fight of their lives right here. Look at these tanks. Here comes the Hellcat kiting that double vet Stug. He's gonna get him. Here comes the kill shot. Armor is falling all over the place, but the Pumas are still wandering around, killing stuff.
Yeah, DevM's looking a little bit desperate now, so he just recruited an AT gun with engineers.
And they were quickly cleared by the Pumas. Double vet Stugs, double vet Pumas. The church is about to fall. Here it goes, Timber! The squad dies in the pews. And you know we haven't had a good game on Semwa until the church goes down. All I need to see now is a Pershing, but that's not going to happen. Finally a Puma fall.
I think that's the first thing the Rangers have done this whole game. They've been on the field about 20 minutes, maybe more, and that's the first useful thing they've done other than...
Man, this has just been non-stop action.
Run into their death.
I can't get a breath. And I wonder if these double vet rifles, I wonder if that Sticky's going to do the Puma. Let's see. Destroyed engine, but it survived. And look at DevM. He has recaptured the center, and the drain is back on, folks. This is still too close to call.
Engineer unit lost.
Yeah, his Stug in the south there's pretty badly damaged as well, so it's going to take a little while for Siberian to get anything back here. He doesn't appear to have any infantry on the field. Was there 1 Vogue squad, 1 Pyro?
Yeah, he's down to 1 Grenadier squad with 1 man. He's got 2 Pyos, and he's got 1 original Volk squad. And look at these Rangers are going to finish off this Puma. He's a dead duck. And I was really a bit surprised to see that Siberian spent the ammo to drop registered on that +5 ammo part just north of the center VP. I think that was a little unnecessary. Maybe he's feeling the pressure here. DevM is putting it on, pouring it on. Nicely micros the AT gun away before the Nebel fire falls. DevM might just do it yet. What do you think, Razor?
I think it's going to be pretty damn close. DevM really needs to hold this though, and the thing that's going to keep him in it is going to be more off-maps. If he gets good off-maps, I think it's going to be very difficult for Siberian to break it, because his stuff is getting injured a lot, all of his vehicles. He's keeping them alive, but they take time to repair, and time is something he's running out of. He's almost...
I wonder, you know, Siberian has never tried to deal with the Howie. I mean, he could easily send a Puma around the south. I mean, he'd be taking a risk that he might hit a mine or something, but he could get Viz for, I mean, maybe if he'd have saved for a rocket barrage. He doesn't have any ammo now, though. I mean, the Puma could go in there and clear that thing itself, but he's never tried it. He's just been tunnel vision, focused on the center VP. All the action here has been in the center. The troops are getting tired. They're all getting very weak. These are some fresh, fully healthy Grenadiers. They clear the AT gun, and these two Stugs are working on this Hellcat, and they're going to get that kill. And suddenly, well, we got triple vet rifles annihilate the Grenadiers, and that is a big win for DevM because that's less capping power. Wow, DevM is really pouring it on. He's keeping his units in so long, and Siberian feeling desperate at 82 VPs. He's trying to cap with these understrength piles. They actually managed to wipe that center VP. More on-map howitzer shells coming in. It's a meat grinder around this center VP, and somehow DevM just has more infantry in the center, and look at them charging forward. This sort of infantry charge thing has never really worked this game, but now it is finally starting to pay off. They're getting in deep, they're throwing stickies, and Siberian just cannot keep his stuff repaired enough. And raise the center VP. What's going on? People leaving channels. Can you guys hear me? DevM has once again raised the center VP. Here we go. It's Razor I've lost Razor here. I'm going to solo this. What an incredible game here. It's just mania. Communication lines are down. I tell you what, 42 minutes and 35, 36, 37. Welcome back, Razor, man. Don't leave me on this one. I can't handle this heat. Can't handle it by myself. DevM has got him down to 72 VPs, man. It's going to be hard for Siberian to stop this drain. Look at these triple vet rifles, fully healthy, charging forward.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm just syncing up with you very quick.
Alright, I'm at 4307. Another great off-map shot coming in, and if he loses these piles, he really will have nothing to cap. And that second shot was perfect. It sort of followed the units back as they retreated into the corner of the map. And really, Siberian is just running out of stuff. He's got one Stug, two Pumas, one Volk squad, and three almost dead Pios. He's trying to harass the top, but DevM is fully prepared for that. Sorry, buddy, no top VP harass for you. MG waiting for you, Rifle Squad waiting for you. Off you go, packing. And I think DevM has stabilized. I think he's comfortable. And I think perhaps this is getting close to being called for the Allies. Are we on our way to see a huge upset here? Siberian's still fighting. He kills another Hellcat. I would love to see some Knights Cross or something, but he didn't get to tier 4 in this game. It has just been too crazy. Too much manpower spent reinforcing and trying to keep these squads fighting and on the field. These Pios, I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think, well, they might impress me. The Rangers have suddenly decided to attack the Puma, and what? The Pios white the flag. Is DevM just toying with him now? I don't know what's going on. He could have killed them so easily, but he knows these Rangers can raise it themselves. And you know what, Razor? You know what changed the game?
He's got enough stuff there.
You know what turned this game around? Tell me what turned this game around.
Possibly the bit where I disconnected. I mean, the ability of DevM to keep throwing so much infantry forward eventually got to the stage where Siberian seemed to run out of infantry himself, and his tanks are getting damaged. And I gotta say, I think getting the howitzer in the first place, he should have done it earlier, but once he got it on the field, able to take out those Nebels, then that made a huge difference to the game. Having the indirect firepower advantage is always going to win you some war.
I agree. I think getting the Howie up and the Howie's influence has been massive. I think since the Howie came up, we've seen a whole different complexion on this game. and it made space for this infantry to work. Of course, getting 2 Hellcats in an off-map combat group never hurts. And look at this, we're down to 37, and it is getting desperate for Siberia. I don't know if he's ever lost Wehrmacht on Semwa. We'd have to go check the stats there. Put Plexi to work. I see her in the chat. Did he lose to Korean Army? Was that an Allies map? He ain't done yet, though. Let's see.
He's getting down to the one-man squads here.
I know, look at them. They're all so desperate. It looks like he's going to stop the drain. It's at 28. Come on. Here we go. The Volks are going to try to cap it. I wonder if we'll see what kind of ammo you got.
The enemy is after our victory point. The enemy is down.
The drain is stopped at 24. More stickies going in. That one Stug just will not die. There goes some bazooka shots. There's still a Nebel up. The Nebel's still firing. And these Volks Grenadiers, brave souls that they are. Wow, Nebel doing terrible damage right now. And I don't know what this Stug's doing. He wants to mash some dudes. I think that's a registered on the VP. Maybe a little early. 2 M10s from the next off-map combat group. Look at these Zooks just strewn across the center of Semwa. And lucky for Siberian, these M10s cannot cap. So he will survive a few minutes longer. What's he saying? 800. What is that? 800. What is that 800? Manpower for an off-map? These M8s go and they kill the Nebel. And it looks like with all this chat that Siberian has finally tapped out. Woo! I need to take a breath. Budwise, back me up.
Buddy. It's the combat.
Budwise, show me a video. Folks, game 1 has been a thriller. Technical problems. The internet cannot handle us tonight. It's Sunday night. We're at 560 viewers. We're setting records. These guys are playing their hearts out. And I just hope that they've got something left for the rest of this series. Razor's internet's getting bogged down. Budweiser's hopping channels. I hope you guys managed to follow us through that incredible game 1 of this title fight. Razor, closing thoughts?
Hell of a game. I'm just looking across the map and there's the whole place is cratered and burnt and there's carcasses of vehicles everywhere. The church went down. I think 3 other houses went down. Nebelwerfers firing at infantry, howitzers killing everything, off-map combat groups everywhere. I always think off-map combat group the most efficient spend of manpower in the game, and I think it was shown in this game.
Yeah, these 4 houses destroyed on Semwa is impressive. Usually you see 1 or 2 maybe, but 4, wow. And you know, who needs Zooks strewn across the battlefield in the middle? And it's funny enough that Siberian tapped out when he was in possession of the 2 VPs. He knew that he had absolutely nothing left. His army was completely destroyed. He is left with 1 Pio squad with about 2% health, kneeling at the HQ saying, "I'm sorry, Herr Führer, we have failed." So, folks, gather some strength, take an energy pill or something, do whatever you need to do to get back ready for game 2. We're going to go to a pause. We'll be back shortly. Stick around.